Hey, hi, and hello. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Emma. I'm a theater lover and theater artist. We just chat all things theater here, and today we are gonna go and chat about Tony Award nomination assumptions. The award ceremony is happening on June 8th, so I thought it would be a lot of fun to look at who's nominated and chit-chat about it. If you have any favorite plays or shows that have played this season, let me know down in the comments. If you have anyone that you're rooting for, any shows that you're rooting for this year, let me know as well. I'm very curious to hear what people are liking and not liking so much this season. We have quite a bit going on this year. Everyone is out for blood, to say the least. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm going to be referencing the nomination announcement that was posted on YouTube. So let's check out and see what the first category is. I definitely am going to be messing up names, so I apologize in advance. I'm just going to say that right here, right now. We got Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role in a Play. Laura Donnelly from The Hills of California, Mia Farrow from The Roommate, LaTanya Richardson Jackson in Purpose, Sadie Sink and John Proctor as the villain, and Sarah Snook in The Picture of Dorian Gray. So full disclosure, I haven't seen any of these shows. Based on from what I know, my money is on Sarah Snook in The Picture of Dorian Gray. It's a one-person show, so that's where my money is. But let me know in the comments if any of y'all have seen these shows and performances, and let me know your thoughts. Best Performance by an Actor in a Leading Role in a Play. We got George Clooney in Good Night and Good Luck, Cola Scola in Mary, John Michael Hill in Purpose, Daniel Day Kim in Yellowface, Harry and Lennox in Purpose, and Louis McCartney in Stranger Things, The First Shadow. Very fascinating. I also did not realize that Stranger Things has already opened. That's how out of the loop I am. So again, I have not seen most of these shows, but y'all know I've already seen Oh Mary, and I believe wholeheartedly that Cole is going to win this. I really hope they're going to win this. They are so phenomenal in this piece. I thought it was absolutely so innovative, and of course, like, they wrote the play as well. My money is on Cole, but if y'all have a different person you're running for, let me know. All right, Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role in a Musical. Megan Hilty in Death Becomes Her, Audra McDonald in Gypsy, Jasmine Amy Rogers in Boop the Musical, Nicole Scherzinger for Sunset Boulevard, and Jennifer Simard for Death Becomes Her. This, oh my god, this category has me reeling. This one is a toughie. I've seen Death Becomes Her and Sunset Boulevard. I have reviews coming out very soon for both of those performances. But oh my god, y'all. Nicole's gonna win. Nicole is gonna win. Nicole's gonna win. Her performance in Sunset is absolutely mind-boggling. I have not seen a performance like it. Granted, like, my money is also on Audra. There's a reason why she is the most nominated actor for a Tony nomination in history. She definitely could easily win this. I have not seen Gypsy yet. It's still on my list of things to check out. I'm hoping to see it before the awards. Personally, just based on what I've seen, as much as I loved Death Becomes Her, I think Nicole is going to win this category. Just my 2 cents. Just my 2 cents. Next up, Best Performance by an Actor in a Leading Role in a Musical. We got Darren Criss in Maybe Happy Ending, Andrew Durand in Dead Outlaw, Tom Francis in Sunset Boulevard, Jonathan Groff in Just in Time, James Monroe Iglehart in A Wonderful World, the Louis Armstrong Musical, and Jeremy Jordan in Floyd Collins. I have only seen Sunset out of this lineup. I have a feeling it's going to be Darren Criss, just knowing how strong Maybe Happy Ending is. I also just have to say I find it very interesting that this category has 6 nominations and the Best Leading Actress only has 5, and the girl who plays the only female role in Maybe Happy Ending wasn't nominated, so I found that very fascinating. Some people think that she got snubbed for that, I believe, but regardless, interesting. I really loved Tom Francis in his performance in Sunset Boulevard, so my money is on him automatically, just because it's the only show I've seen in this lineup, but I would not be surprised if Darren Criss wins. I've heard he's phenomenal in it, so if he deserves it, then you go Glen Coco. Best Play. We got English, The Hills of California, John Proctor is the villain, Oh Mary, and Purpose. Y'all know my opinion Oh Mary for the win. Purpose did win a Pulitzer for drama this year, so it might have a very good running for the Tony. I've heard good things about John Proctor, also heard good things of Hills of California. I heard mixed things anyways, also heard really good things about English. So I think this is a very tight race, but personally, my personal preference, all in on Oh Mary, all in, all in, all in. I think what Cole created is really special and lovely and just a great revamped concept of farce. I could just gag about it all the time and I'm not going to bore you with it. I think it's Oh Mary. I want it to be Oh Mary. That's just me. Best musical: Buena Vista Social Club, Dead Outlaw, Death Becomes Her, Maybe Happy Ending, and Operation Mincemeat, a new musical. Okay, so I was talking about this with my friends, and I personally want Death Becomes Her to win. I want Death Becomes Her to win. I don't know. It just, it just gives me such fun vibes. I love comedies. I love the fact that it's led by two strong female parts. And I just think it would be so fun for a female comedy to win Best Musical, but that's just my personal preference. Everyone thinks that Maybe Happy Ending is gonna win. I'm already mentally preparing for that disappointment, but you know, I'm just reaching for the stars over here. All right, Best Book of a Musical: Marco Ramirez for Buena Vista Social Club, Itamar Moses for Dead Outlaw, sorry for mispronouncing that, Marco Panett for Death Becomes Her, Will Aronson and Hugh Park for Maybe Happy Ending, David Cumming, Felix Hagen, Natasha Hodgson, and Zoe Roberts for Operation Mincemeat, a new musical. Automatically, I'm gonna say Death Becomes Her. I thought the book was actually pretty strong for that show, so I wouldn't be surprised if it actually did win Best Book. But of course, my assumptions, since everyone is saying Maybe Happy Ending is gonna win, you know, you never know. You never know. Okay, so Best Original Score, Music and/or Lyrics written for the theater. Very long nomination award title. Okay. We got David Yazbek and Eric De La Pena for Dead Outlaw. I didn't realize Yazbek was on that. Really cool. Julia Madison and Noel Carey for Death Becomes Her. Will Aronson and Hugh Park for Maybe Happy Ending. David Cumming, Felix Hagen, Natasha Hodgson, and Zoe Roberts for Operation Mincemeat, a new musical. And Joy Huerta and Benjamin Velez for Real Women Have Curves, the musical. I love the Death Becomes Her score. I really do. I'll go more into it in my review video, but I just think it's so fun and it's so campy, but at the same time, it still honors like the musical theater aesthetic. I just really like it. I think it's just because it just gives me like classic musical comedy vibes. So I really enjoy it, but I would not be surprised if this goes to Maybe Happy Ending. But again, my money, it's on Death Becomes Her. All right, Best Scenic Design for a Play. We got Marsha Ginsburg for English, Rob Howell for Hills of California, Mark Horwell and David Bergman for The Picture of Dorian Gray, Miriam Buther and 59 for Stranger Things to Foreshadow, interesting, and Scott Pask for Good Night and Good Luck. I feel like this can be kind of a toss-up just based on the designs that I've seen of these plays. Honestly, I have a feeling it might be Stranger Things just based on from what I've seen, like the technical aspect of it, but I don't know if they're gonna want to go to a more simpler one. I think Hills of California had also a pretty big set, but I'm gonna say based on what I've seen, I'm gonna go with Stranger Things for this one. All right, Best Scenic Design of a Musical. We got Rachel Hauk for Swept Away, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, Dane Laffrey and George Reeve for Maybe Happy Ending, Arnulfo Maldonado for Buena Vista Social Club, Derek McLean for Death Becomes Her, and Derek McLean for Just in Time. All right, Derek, you're booked and blessed. Hello. Again, based on what I've seen, of course I want to say Death Becomes Her, but I've seen the set for Maybe Happy Ending and just so much of the technical, again, it's a very technical heavy show, so I think Maybe Happy Ending is going to be snagging this award very easily. Best Costume Design of a Play. We got Brenda Abadandolo, so sorry if I'm messing that up, for Good Night and Good Luck, Mark Horwell for The Picture of Dorian Gray, Rob Howell for Hills of California, Holly Pearson for Oh Mary, and Bridget Ravenstuhl for Stranger Things to Foreshadow. I think the costumes in Dorian Gray looked really fun. Oh Mary, of course, I feel like they were pretty straightforward, but they weren't like, yes, costume design, sleigh boots. I think mine is gonna go to Picture of Dorian Gray. Some of the outfits that I see Snook wear, they looked really, really fun to me. I don't know, I guess for some reason, I'm just very drawn to saying that that's my choice out of this lineup. I know, surprise, I didn't say Oh Mary, look at me go. All right, we got Best Costume Design of a Musical. We got Didi Ayeti for Buena Vista Social Club, sorry for mispronouncing that, Greg Barnes for Boop the Musical, Clint Ramos for Maybe Happy Ending, Paul Tazewell for Death Becomes Her, and Catherine Zuber for Just in Time. I think Paul Tazewell's designs in Death Becomes Her are fabulous. I also think Greg Barnes has a very good chance of winning this just based on the fact that he had to do both black and white and in color costumes. I would say between all of these, those two are the front runners in my personal view. But of course, I'm going to say Paul Tazewell. I think what he did with the costumes, especially for the two leading ladies, were really fun and really glamorous. Oh my god, and the costumes for Michelle Williams, I mean, come on. I want him to design all my clothes. God damn. I would say out of all of those, Paul Tazewell, Death Becomes Her, is my choice. Best Lighting Design of a Play. Natasha Shivers for Hills of California, John Clark for Stranger Things The First Shadow, Heather Gilbert and David Bengali for Good Night and Good Luck, Natasha Katz and Hannah Wasilewski for John Proctor as the Villain, and Nick Schleiper for The Picture of Dorian Gray. I think Stranger Things might take this. Stranger Things looks very technical heavy, so I feel like anything that is much more heavier in the technical aspects, they're gonna win. So I think that's where it's gonna go. I'm such a huge Natasha Katz fan, so of course my heart wants to say John Proctor. But just based on what I've seen so far, I think it's going to be that. I wish I knew more of Good Night and Good Luck, but it's like all the things I've seen are in black and white, so I don't know what it actually is in color because I'm assuming it's not all in black and white. If any of y'all have seen the play, let me know in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Okay, Best Lighting Design of a Musical. Jack Knowles for Sunset Boulevard, Tyler Michelot for Buena Vista Social Club, Scott Zielinski and Roy Horung-sun for Floyd Collins, Ben Stanton for Maybe Happy Ending, Justin Townsend for Death Becomes Her. I loved the lighting in Death Becomes Her. I thought it was really fun. But oh my god, Jack Knowles. Jack Knowles, your light design for Sunset Boulevard was magnificent and it was all I ever wanted. It was all I ever wanted. I think what Jack Knowles did with Sunset Boulevard was breathtaking, simple, but so extreme. My 2 cents, Sunset Boulevard, that's where my money is going to. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Happy Ending got this, maybe Floyd Collins, I don't know. But Jack Knowles, Sunset Boulevard, I will bet my life savings of $57 on that. All right, Best Sound Design of a Play. Paul Arditi for Stranger Things The First Shadow, Palmer Hefferson for John Proctor as the Villain, Daniel Kluger for Good Night and Good Luck, Nick Powell for The Hills of California, and Clements Williams for The Picture of Dorian Gray. All right, these are all things that I have not seen. Again, since I think it's a very tech-heavy show, I would not be surprised if Paul Arditi gets this for Stranger Things. Sound Design for a Musical. Jonathan Deans for Buena Vista Social Club, Adam Fisher for Sunset Boulevard, Peter Helensky for Just in Time, Peter Helensky again for Maybe Happy Ending, Work, Booked and Blessed, Hello, and Dan Moses Schreier for Floyd Collins. I will be honest, Adam Fisher, I think he did a phenomenal sound design. What I find so interesting of seeing shows nowadays is like sound seems to be like the biggest factor as to whether or not if a show is like enjoyable. With Sunset, I could hear everything. I was able to follow the plot really well. I was able to hear people really well. I was in a nosebleed seat. I personally did not have any issues in terms of like understanding the storytelling and hearing like a really nice balance between the actors and the orchestra. And then also the fact that like the opening number of Act 2, Tom Francis, is going around the building and going outside. Like, that must have been such a huge sound technical thing that they had to work out. Hardcore. My 2 cents, Adam Fisher, Sunset Boulevard. Let's go. Okay, Best Direction of a Play. Let's go. Nud Adams for English, Sam Mendes for The Hills of California, Sam Pinkleton for Oh Mary, Dana Tamor for John Proctor as the Villain, and Kip Williams for The Picture of Dorian Gray. Really strong lineup. Sam Pinkleton for Oh Mary, I think, hands down. That's just my 2 cents. And I also just think it's so fun that he's from a choreographing background. But what I really love about Sam Pinkleton is like he's really like embracing his queerness and just kind of like throwing up whatever he wants on stage. Like there's a production of La Cage aux Folles he did recently that looked so good and so gay that it just looked like such a fun time that it made me so excited. And I think if I am correct, yeah, and Sam Pinkleton is going to be directing the upcoming revival of the Rocky Horror Show in the spring of 2026. He is just really in his element, and I just love that he is just expressing his creativity in queer works, and I'm just all here for it. So please give Sam Pinkleton this Tony. That's all I want in my life. That's all I want. Well, there's a few other things that I want, which includes Best Direction of a Musical. Saheem Ali for Buena Vista Social Club, Michael Arden for Maybe Happy Ending, David Cromer for Dead Outlaw, Christopher Gattelli for Death Becomes Her, and Jamie Lloyd for Sunset Boulevard. I love Michael Arden. He already has a Tony. He'll be fine. Although I think he's going to win for this. But at the same time, I think Christopher Gattelli did a great work with Death Becomes Her. But y'all, what Jamie Lloyd did with Sunset Boulevard, what he did with this work, I'm going to say this in my review about this show, but like I can't imagine Sunset being done any other way in this extreme minimalistic live video concept. It was just so rich and just so refreshing. It was just really nice to just see someone take this sort of piece and see it in a new perspective. And I just think he deserves this Tony Award. I know that he got the Olivier, but let's give him a Tony as well. Why not? We want to keep him around. But knowing all of the hoopla with Maybe Happy Ending, again, would not be surprised if it wins that and Michael Arden gets another Tony. I'm not mad about it. He's really good. I loved his work on Parade and other productions that he's done. And also, like, everyone in this category, they did really, really hard work, and their final product came out beautifully. I wish them all the best, but Jamie has my heart forever and ever. All right, best choreography. Let's get into it. Joshua Burgess for Smash, Camille A. Brown for Gypsy, Christopher Gattelli for Death Becomes Her, Jerry Mitchell for Boop the Musical, Patricia Delgado and Justin Peck for Buena Vista Social Club. I didn't realize Justin Peck was working on that one. That's really cool. This is a brutal lineup. This is brutal. Goddamn. I mean, I haven't seen Boop the Musical, but I know for a fact that Jerry does not mess around. If you're going to see a Jerry Mitchell musical, you're going to see Jerry Mitchell, period. It's tight, man. I just automatically assume that Jerry Mitchell is going to get it. I think Camille A. Brown has a really good chance of getting it as well. I haven't really heard much about Smash, but I know that Joshua does really good work. My coins are going to Christopher Gattelli since this is the only show that I've seen in this lineup. I also think his work on it was actually really good as a choreographer. I thought it was really fun. I don't really know. I'm gonna be very fascinated to see who ends up getting this award. My initial reaction is Jerry Mitchell because it's Jerry fucking Mitchell. Best orchestrations, let's go. Andrew Resnick and Michael Thurber for Just in Time, Will Aronson for Maybe Happy Ending, Bruce Coughlin for Floyd Williams, Margot Paglia for Buena Vista Social Club, David Cullen and Andrew Lloyd Webber for Sunset Boulevard. Okay, sorry if this looks any different. My phone ran out of storage. Orchestrations, I don't really understand the go-abouts of it. It's something that I don't really know, I'm not really that familiar with, but I do know that a lot of work goes into it, obviously. So, of course, my immediate response is Sunset Boulevard, just because it's the only score that I've heard. Really, all of these have really strong scores and orchestrations. So I'm kind of like, go be free. This is a toss-up. I think everyone deserves to be in this category, and whoever wins, work. All right, best performance by an actress in a featured role in a play. We got Tala Ash in English, Jessica Hecht in Eureka Day, Marja Nessat in English, Fina Straza and John Proctor as the villain, and Carrie Young for Purpose. All of these I have not seen. I heard English was actually a really good show. Same with Eureka Day, Purpose, and John Proctor. Again, I'm just going to say that this is a toss-up. I think they all are very strong. I think anyone who wins this deserves this, and I'm excited to see who ends up getting the award. Really exciting. Best performance by an actor in a featured role in a play. We got Glenn Davis in Purpose, Gabriel Ebert in John Proctor is the villain, Francis Yu in Yellowface, Bob Odenkirk and Glengarry Glenn Ross, and Conrad Rickamore and O'Mary. I actually didn't see Conrad and O'Mary. I saw his understudy. But again, O'Mary, That's where all my money goes to. Again, I'm gonna say the same thing as I said with these other two categories. I feel so bad. I feel like anyone who wins deserves it, and that's really exciting that they all got nominated for this category. That's so exciting. Best performance by an actress in a featured role in a musical. We got Natalie Venetia Belcon in Buena Vista Social Club. Sorry for mispronouncing that. Julia Niddle for Dead Outlaw. Gracie Lawrence, Just in Time. Justina Mercado in Real Women Have Curves, the musical, and Joy Woods in Gypsy. From what I've heard, Joy Woods is absolutely phenomenal in Gypsy and will probably get this. To be fully frank, I did not know Dead Outlaw and Just in Time were a thing until just very recently. Same with Real Women Have Curves. I thought it was an off-Broadway thing. Maybe it was off-Broadway for a minute and then transferred, but I did not realize that this was a Broadway production. And Buena Vista Social Club has been on my radar, but not as much as other productions such as Gypsy. To me, I think Joy Woods is going to be the runner in this category, but also everyone else in this category, well deserved. They should be very proud of themselves. All right, best performance by an actor in a featured role in a musical. We got Brooks Ashbanankis in Smash, Jeb Brown in Dead Outlaw, Danny Bernstein in Gypsy, Jack Malone in Operation Mincemeat, a new musical, and Taylor Trench and Floyd Collins. I love Danny Bernstein. I love Danny. I know that he's phenomenal in this show. I am really hoping I get to see this show before the Tonys, because I feel like once the Tonys happen, this is going to be impossible to get a ticket. So my heart is to Danny. What's interesting is like Danny Bernstein is like known for getting nominated, but like never getting a shot because he's always in a category with so many other strong contenders for it. So he was always like the bridesmaid, never the bride, but he did win for his performance in Moulin Rouge. But I think he actually has a really good chance of winning this category. And if that happens, my heart is going to implode into a million butterflies. And I'm going to be super happy for him. Although I find it really fun that Taylor Trench got nominated for Floyd Collins. I've known him for a while from afar. I don't know him personally. So I think that's really cool that he got nominated for his work in Floyd Collins. Full disclosure, I've never been a Floyd Collins fan. I know people are obsessed with it. I never really understood why. Maybe that will change if I ever get to see the production at Lincoln Center. Maybe. Who knows? We will see. Best revival of a play. Eureka Day, Romeo and Juliet, Thornton Wilder's Our Town, and Yellowface. This is such an interesting group of plays. I also found it very surprising that no one from Our Town got nominated. Very interesting. Not saying that's a bad thing. I don't know. I also didn't realize that Eureka Day was a revival. And also Yellowface and Eureka Day are the only other two shows that were nominated for other categories besides Best Revival. So my immediate response is to assume that it's going to be one of those two shows. For some reason, I feel like Our Town is going to win. I don't know why. I generally have no idea who's going to win. Maybe Yellowface? I have no idea. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Best revival of a musical, y'all. Floyd Collins, Gypsy, Pirates, the Penzance musical, and Sunset Boulevard. I think Sunset's gonna win. It's just so innovative, so different, so fresh. Something you will never experience ever again in your life. That's where my 2 cents is going. I know Pirates is really fun. Warren Carlyle did the choreography for it, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. It looks like a fun time. This production of Gypsy is like one of the most innovative productions done so far. It's probably one of the best revivals of the show so far. Floyd Collins, I mean, it's kind of like a cult classic, so for it to win would be kind of like, I don't know, a wild, like, hero's journey redemption arc. I don't know where my brain was going with that, but to be perfectly frank, after seeing the show and seeing like how drastically different the approach was compared to how the directors approached their revivals, I think it's going to be Sunset. I would say probably Gypsy would be the runner-up in that category. Just my 2 cents. All right, let's look at these special Tony Awards. We got musicians who make up the band of the Buena Vista Social Club. That's really cool. Good for them. I love that they're making a recognition for those band members. That's really awesome. I kind of want to see more of like what led to that decision. Like why are they getting this Tony Award? Not questioning it in any way. But what's also interesting is that they're giving a special Tony Award to the illusions and technical effects of Stranger Things: The First Shadow, which therefore makes me wonder if they're still going to win the other Tonys for the other technical aspects of sound, light, set. My immediate assumption is yes, if they're getting this special Tony Award as well. Like the fact that they're giving a special Tony Award for that alone, that is definitely speaking volumes. And the image that they're showing with it looks very terrifying, and I am here for it. The other Tony honors is New 42, the New York Public Library for the Performing Arts, PBS Grit Performances, and Michael Price, rightfully so. The 2025 Lifetime Achievement Tony Award is going to Harvey Fierstein, which is amazing. I think so well deserved. He has done so much for this community, and the fact that we get to honor him is just really beautiful. And then this I found really fun looking up. The 2025 Isabel Stevenson Tony Award is going to Celia Keenan Bolger. Now, this Tony Award I found a lot of fun learning about, and I'm going to read this from the Wikipedia page. This award is a non-competitive philanthropic award presented as part of the Tony Awards to recognize an individual from the theater community who has made a substantial contribution of volunteer time and effort on behalf of one of or more humanitarian, social service, or charitable organizations, regardless of whether such organizations relate to the theater. It's named for Isabel Stevenson, a dancer who performed for audiences all around the world and was president and later chairperson of the board of the American Theater Wing until her death in 2023. So Celia's is being awarded it because, I'm reading this off of Playbill, she spends much of her offstage time dedicated to humanitarian and political causes. She served as a field organizer in Pennsylvania during the 2008 Obama campaign, co-founded Broadway for Obama in 2012, served on the advisory board of Broadway Impact during their successful campaign for marriage equality, and co-founded Broadway Feeds Bellevue during the pandemic. She has also created the Activist Artist Endowed Scholarship Fund with late friend Gavin Creel, helping to provide scholarships to musical theater students at the University of Michigan who are devoted to service and social justice. And this is what I find so wild. She's also a certified end-of-life doula, so she is skilled at providing counsel to people at the end of their lives, something the Broadway community saw firsthand with Creel's untimely passing last year. I'm very happy that she is getting recognized for this. The only downside is that they don't include these special awards in the actual ceremony itself. The Tony honors for New 42 Great Performances, and they were already handed out and accepted. And you can see those acceptance speeches on the YouTube page, but they don't include it in the ceremony anymore, which is really annoying. So we're not going to see Celia's acceptance or Harvey's acceptance of their awards unless we want to watch it earlier, or I think we have to watch it through Paramount Plus or something. I don't know. I found that a little bit disappointing and kind of a bit of a snub, a little bit of here's a special Tony Award we're giving you, but you're not special enough to be a part of the actual ceremony. But I'm hoping that they will include these two as part of the ceremony. I hope. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. With all that said, those are the nominations for this year. A really interesting lineup. Again, people are going to be out for blood, but I think this is going to be a really fun evening. So I'm leaving it up to you. What do y'all think? Who do you think is going to win? If y'all have any conflicting thoughts and opinions with mine, please share them. I'm so interested to hear what y'all thought of this season, what you liked and what you didn't like. Yeah, I guess we'll be finding out soon enough because it's coming up June 8th, this coming Sunday. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see who ends up winning. Let's do it. All right, I'm going to end this video now. Thank you all so much again for stopping by. If you liked it, please give it a little like. Leave in the comments below of anything that piqued your interest about this. And if you want to, chime into the conversation. And if you want to follow along and see more videos, feel free to subscribe. I'm hoping to be a bit more diligent with my posting. So we will see how that goes. Thank you again so much. May you be happy, healthy, safe and at ease and free from harm. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.